think I counted, it's like 1,256 JPEGs that are on this site. So it's like it took us hundreds of hours, a lot of time put into it.
It's a heavy lift. You put a ton of time into this thing. All right, welcome back.
What's up, YouTube people?
It sounds like we did that questionnaire kind of.
Yep.
On Tyler's episode of like, do you want to see more interview style, or do you want us to dig into the projects, or what is everybody feeling? I like the interview style just because talking to new designers and things, but
and even maybe people that even personally I look up to, like Morning Breath and Benny, like that shit's fun for me. But I was actually shocked to see most of the people were like, hey, dive into projects, case studies, and I was like, oh shit, cool. You know what I mean? I would have guessed the other way, but let's do more of those. You know what I mean? So
like I mentioned, over the last, kind of starting in, I guess, October of last year and stuff, we brought on a couple new hires. Mark Brickey joined the team, which is cool. So he is on as like an account director. So as like a studio and agency grows, like somebody or multiple people need to be paying attention and taking care of the clients, right? There's so much interaction that goes on bigger projects and bigger budgets where you definitely don't want the designers or art director or creative director like just getting bombarded with emails and questions and timelines and shit like that, So at some point you need account directors that service those clients, make sure everything's done on time, this and that. We have Brandon, who is our project manager here. He's overseeing all of the projects. Yeah. Mark has key accounts for Lincoln that he manages as far as, timing, deliverables, and this and that. So.
Totally. Yeah, I like to think of Mark as maybe on the offensive side, and he's really servicing that client, making them happy. And then I think of Brandon here as the defensive side. He's seeing what's actually possible. He's looking out for us designers like, hey, you can't have Damaso do 10 of those today, Exactly. So there's like that nice ebb and flow with the two of them. And I mean, as we go on, we might need some more.
For sure. Yeah. So stoked to have Mark on the team. We had a new designer start, Tim. Tim was in here in the hot seat. He designed the Lincoln whiskey label. So you got to meet him on that episode. So check that out if you didn't see it.
And since then, he's hit the ground running. Man, we've really been lucky to get good teammates. Like, I mean, I've pretty much been with you a big chunk of my career, and we had one teammate leave a while ago, and there's really never been anyone that's like left. So it's just been an interesting dynamic, and for Tim to come in like he has, and it's just like one of the homies. It's actually, we're very lucky. Not only is he a great designer, he's just a cool dude. Super good at fingerboarding.
And skating in general.
Well, yeah, my bad. Real skateboarding. Very good. Sorry for the disrespect, Tim.
Tim's like, what about?
And the Kadama. And so, And then, cool. Next up, we got Jill.
Jill. Another one, that she just came on. A
retreat. She started?
She started the week before the retreat.
But again, just like Tim, she just freaking fits right in perfectly.
Let's get her in here real quick.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we ran out and grabbed Jillian. So Jillian, welcome to the Chop
Hell
Up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Did you know coming into the office today you're going to be on camera?
No, I would have probably worn a different shirt.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
We did the same with Dave and Tim, Tim. They didn't even know.
Yeah, they actually just told me that I got a little bit more warning than Tim did. So.
Okay.
Tim didn't get much. Yeah. We kind of rolled right into it, and we're like, let's just get Tim in here.
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
So better than that, not bad.
We'll do it live.
Exactly. Well, welcome. So we just kind of gave you an intro, kind of talked about that you got thrown into the fire with the retreat, and you were, hung out and had a great time and everything. So,
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. It was awesome. It was a blast. I think for anyone it might be scary coming into Lincoln because you guys are all such legends, but then you meet them and they're like the nicest guys. You guys are all so cool. So
heck yeah.
It was better than I could have imagined.
That's awesome.
When I first met Dan years ago, he's told me first and foremost, which I thought was interesting at the time, but it's like first and foremost, you have to be able to sit with this person in a room all day. And then second, they have to be good. And I feel like this is like a perfect example of like, you just hang with us, super chill. I mean, we're fingerboarding and whatever, playing pool at lunch, and you'll just come and hang. And you even brought your yo-yo to the retreat. So
yeah, she's got some yo-yo skills.
So it's like it couldn't have been any better. We've been super lucky with all of our hires, and it's just rolling with it, rolling with all the punches, and I'm hyped.
Trying to learn to fingerboard a little bit.
See, that's just the willingness to want to try. Like that's what it takes. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So you came on social media designer.
Yep.
So you're working on, we have some clients that we do a lot of social media design and posting and things for, as well as you're jumping in on LinkedIn. I've talked about, like, and anybody knows, if you're posting on Instagram and trying to keep up on Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube and all this shit, like how much time it takes. We even talked at Kubota at a recent trip, and the one was there that did it, and you know, it was like a post can take an hour to lay out, it can take 4 hours, you know. So it's always been a big lift. So I'm like super stoked that you're here to help me with that. And
I can't believe that you did it all by yourself, especially because there's so much Lincoln work that you got to kind of distill it, pick the good stuff. I can't believe you did the whole thing for years.
I think everyone would say that. You know what I mean? I think even a Mason, you know, is always giving Dan a hard time of like, why are you doing this? But again, it is so important. So
it is.
I get it, but also let's figure something out. And we figured it out.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that, you know, Lincoln is, you got a lot to do, and like you have your finger on the pulse of everything. Right. Like you know exactly what's going on all the time. I think that's really cool. I think that's different.
So one thing I thought was really cool is not only are you laying out, designing these ads, but you have the analytical side down pat as well, which is pretty rare in our industry to have this left-right brain. You know, human being, usually it's all right or all left. So the fact that we have someone that is on both sides, to me, is awesome. What are you, SEO certified for whatever? I don't even know these things, you know what I mean? As well as laying out the stuff. And then yesterday, I didn't even know you had motion capabilities. So that was shocking. So
writing skills.
Yeah. Yes. So what else do you do? What else do we? Yeah. Where do we miss it? You know, do you draw as well?
I can draw.
All right.
No,
well,
I think it worked out. I got my start in an agency, and then I went tech side. So in Austin, the whole tech boom. So I did a lot of tech stuff, and startups. You wear a lot of hats, so you kind of get good at the tech side of stuff. And it's been kind of an interesting journey to hear.
Yeah.
Well, it's all worked out because even here, a lot of the people wear a lot of hats from, you know, sometimes you're illustrating and making logos and then just, you know, getting on camera. So
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, you guys all do a ton of different stuff.
Yeah.
When I walk by your computers, I'll be like, whoa. Even
bunch of
Dave right now,
projects,
he's doing some layout stuff I've never seen him do, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're stoked to have you here.
Thank
More
you.
to come from Jillian. I'm sure we're going to have
Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some projects. We'll have you jump in and kind of speak to those. And so more to come.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out.
All right. So Dustin did our last website, and then obviously he did this one as well. You want to speak to the challenges and whatnot here? And it's so hard with a website because you can go in so many different directions.
Totally. You know, I think for the first challenge is, you know, something we talk a lot about is working on the business versus working in the business. So that's just the hardest problem. And I think the biggest challenge for any creative is time. That's really it. Like, especially at this level, like, you know, all these team members can make dope shit. You know what I mean? It's like, do they just have the, you know, the time and resources to do that? You know what I mean? So that's the first challenge. That's why, you know, it's not like we just did a year straight on this. You know what I mean? We just chipped away at it. And man, so many agencies out there, so many websites, so many ways to do things. So it's kind of like, where do you start?
Well, and I think like even just thinking about websites nowadays, like we were talking about the other day, with Instagram and social media and the fact that it can change on the drop of a dime, you know?
Totally.
I mean, we're seeing the algorithm, you know, it's changed over the years and the likes and the follows and the reach isn't the same as it used to be, you know, and you can't really count on that.
Yeah.
It's great for easily, like if you want to see the most recent work that we're doing, it's probably going to be up on there because it's easy to post. You just throw it up, you know, you can kind of curate it. And I personally like with doing that, for me and for the studio, in a lot of ways, it's for us to kind of see like our projects we've worked on in the past. I'm not really worried about hey, is somebody going to like this? How many likes did it get? This and that, you know, kind of bringing on Jillian now. She will start to pay attention to that stuff. I honestly didn't and don't, you know, and I don't know if that's good or bad. For me, I'm just putting it up there as like, hey, we finished this, you know, here it is.
Totally.
You know, if clients see it, that's awesome. But I do think now it's kind of falling back to this, like, you have to have a website again. There was a point where you didn't really need one.
Yeah, there's definitely a big ebb and flow. I mean, Instagram, again, is just kind of getting a little tired. And now everyone is an influencer. You know, it's like even the creative is falling aside, and it's like everyone's Gary Vee on Instagram, and it's like, damn, I just want to make some dope shit. So, you know, if you want to get hyped up, you go on Instagram. If you want to see some great visuals and a curated like form, come to our website.
And kind of dig into the process as well on here. You know, you're going to see more as far as the client, the comps we presented, stuff like that. So.
Totally. And then as we've grown, the services we offer to the clients are just totally different. So this is just a different way to focus in on that. And these 6 brands, we try to pick these 6 brands that highlight the different services, where maybe Nike is primarily apparel. Dew Tour is going to be heavy branding. Liquid Death is just wild, off the cuff one-offs, you know. Hot Wheels, we got style guides. So it's just really trying to show different stuff. With Kubota, it's moving and animation, and just trying to, again, show our services in a different way.
And we are going to add a couple more as far as case studies. But you did add the archive section, which does have like High Street Deli and stuff on there.
100%. It's basically,
we didn't want to get rid of this. There's so much here, you know.
I think I counted, it's like 1,256 JPEGs that are on this site. So it's like it took us hundreds of hours, a lot of time put into it.
It's a heavy lift. You put a ton of time into this thing.
Yeah, but it's I mean, honestly, I'm very happy with it. I love it. I'm super excited about it.
And there was things from the old site that we didn't bring over that we felt like maybe we didn't need that. Like we had our zines on there and stuff like that. Like where there was so much on that site.
Even so, a year or two ago when we had a couple new employees, they would, you know, they weren't even aware of some of the stuff on our site. So the old site was maybe too deep. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, you gotta just kind of move forward. You know what I mean? Like, let's just look forward. We don't need to look back anymore. And there's still plenty of work to continue to look forward. Again, already I need to add 2 Nike projects. You know what I mean? I need to add a handful of Liquid Death stuff. That's like the one for me, Liquid Death, because I'm a fan that I'm like, oh, we didn't add the Thirsthurst. Oh, we didn't add the Dunk Tank. And then once you start going down that rabbit hole, the list just gets so big that you're like,
takes forever.
I think it's good as is. You know, we got to call it, you know.
Yeah, so that is up as well. We need to add some new product, which we're going to make some new...
Dan's wearing a new hat right now.
Yes. We will be making new product.
And one thing is getting the product made. Like, you just walked in with some hats today. Then the next thing is getting it up on the site. Photos. I mean, people listening already probably know. So it just takes time, you know. So we have priorities, and maybe you'll be able to buy this hat next week. Maybe not.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll get a shot. We'll get it up there.
Some of the cool other aspects on the site that I was kind of pushing for a while is our services. We offer such a wide range of services than we used to, that we really just needed to put it together in like a menu format. Just, you know, I think other people, let's say like a Draplin, if you're hiring Draplin, you close your eyes, you already know exactly what you're going to get. You're not going to him for your website, you know, yada, yada. So with us, you kind of know what you're going to get, but we do all these different things now. So it's like, all right, let's just put it on paper. Well, not paper, but, you know. So
on the website,
and
little icons and
make it make sense. And then in the future, hopefully one day we have, you know, video reels and all the things that go with all this stuff. You know, we'll just add it to the list. I think Dan's point of, you know, it's a work in progress. We're just going to continue to add clients and projects. So hopefully one day you come back and there's, you know, whatever brand, you know, is on there.
Yeah, even the brands that are up there, like Dustin said, you know, some of them like Hot Wheels and things, there are new projects we're always working on. So some of these case studies will change. And
just get deeper. Hot Wheels one specifically, I think it's already so deep, but I think there's only 3 projects on there.
And we're in the middle of, honestly,
10 projects or something. So, I mean, and we have I don't know, 20 years of going backwards of stuff to put as well. So
yeah, that's where it is tough. Like Dustin said, like, what do we put? I gave you that one list of like where like on our server it shows, you know, the clients and the projects, and it's like just highlighting like, okay, these, let's just grab these.
Yeah.
Like, because, yeah, can't show everything.
If anybody has any feedback on the website, I mean, I don't know if we're going to address any of it, but
if stuff's not working or whatever, it should be, though. We tested it all and everything. Dustin has it all dialed in. So
I mean, what was the one thing you mentioned? We got to put a epilepsy warning on the splash page. There is a lot of movement.
You know, the movies where it says in the beginning, like, hey, there's going to be flashing lights and stuff. Yeah, I don't think you're confused on, you know, like you said, what you're going to get from us when you come to this website. You know, right away looking at just those 4 case studies that show up when you get here is like, oh, okay, you know, if I'm a law firm, is this the right place for me? Maybe, but... You know,
you better be a badass law firm.
Yeah, you know, don't be shocked when it looks a little different than the other law firms.
Yeah,
you know, so
I mean, these days with what's Fiverr and all the other stuff, I mean, I think those people got it covered for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And at the same time, if you are a law firm and you want to just break out of your industry a little bit and look a little different, not look Shutterstock.
Yep.
We'll figure it out for you.
We'll help you with that.
You know,
yeah.
We will not put a skull in that one. You know.
Right. All right. So yeah. Check it out. Let us know your thoughts.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's dive into some comments from YouTube.
Let's do it.
Tyler Hacker asked, I recently started using a Wacom tablet for Illustrator. Any tips on workflow?
So Tyler's asking about the Wacom tablet, you know, and using that. He just got one.
Yeah.
A lot of us here use them. Some, I think Jordan's went back to a mouse.
It's actually so...
I can't remember. What's the ratio
It's like
here?
the old heads versus new heads. The new heads... Nobody freaking uses a Wacom tablet at all is what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
There's some outliers for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's on the Procreate or whatever, iPad and Procreate, and they love it. The difference is you're drawing on the screen, you know, which Wacom has a product for that, Cintiq.
The Cintiq.
But it's
big and
a couple $1,000s, and it's super heavy. And you need to buy the operating system, a second copy. Yeah. So there is some, barriers of entry for that. Where the Pro or the iPad, most people typically already have it.
Yeah.
You can also give it to your kid to watch a movie and then check your email and do all these other things on it. That I feel like that has changed the Wacom market tremendously. Yeah. And I see an age gap where I'm a little older, and I love the Wacom. I'm stuck on it. Where all the new guys in here, it's really weird to draw down here and to look up here. Like they could never figure it out. Which I think yourself and me included. It's like. You just started that way, and that's all you know.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't know if we have like any specific tips. I would say just stick with it, Tyler, and use it, and you'll get used to it, and then it'll feel like second nature. And it depends. Like I don't do illustration, but I use it all the time. That's all I use, you know? So I think it can be used for both. You don't have to be like a gnarly illustrator to use a tablet. That's where I think like start getting into the iPad. You're doing illustration work, you know?
Yeah, and you're primarily drawing items or illustrating items versus the Wacom, you can just browse, do whatever. I mean, it's basically like an arm motion versus like a wrist motion.
Yeah, exactly.
So as you get
just
older,
moving like this, so it saves your wrist, they say.
Yeah,
you know, from sitting there and like this carpal tunnel and shit like that.
But we have friends that do construction, so I feel like even if we do use the wrist heavy, like we should be okay. Because they're okay, you know.
So I hope that helps, Tyler.
I would just say as long as you're getting your shit done and it looks dope, do whatever.
However you get there, whatever tool you want to pick up to get her done.
Exactly.
As long as that outcome is great, then you're good, you know.
Hazard Design Co. asked, what is the best way to get over the anxiety around posting when it's to the point it stopped you for months, and the best way to get out of a creative rut?
Yeah, Hazard Design Co. Good question.
Yep.
For myself personally, it's like different as like Dan has a personal account now, so it's like there's the personal side and then the business side. So for me personally, I mean, I haven't posted in 2 years. There is a big step of like, what do you want to show? What are the people gonna think? You know what I mean? You got to really put yourself out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What piece are you gonna show? And the piece has to represent you. Versus if it's for the business, to me, all that's removed. It's like. We need to get some marketing out there, put the piece up.
Yep.
If it's an 8 out of 10, that's fine. It doesn't need to be 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
And just keep posting and 3 posts a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think and I'm assuming he's speaking to kind of the business and design side of it,
Totally.
I think if it's done, it's complete, you've sent it to a client or you've showed people like, hey, this is my final branding for this company, then post it. Don't look at it and compare it to other companies. I try and not like compare us to I hope that we're doing stuff differently, right? I try not to compare us to other studios, other people. There's a ton of people creating great work. If you try and keep up or make sure that your posts and everything is set up similar to everybody else, like you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like just do what you think looks right. Post, keep it consistent, and you'll be good. You'll look back in 6 months and be like, oh, cool. Once it's all up there, it looks great.
Totally.
And even if you're not good, like as long as if you're getting it out there, it's gonna get better. And then you can go back later. You can always delete it. It's one of those things. Like if 2 years from now you're like, holy shit, look at this stuff I posted 2 years ago. Delete it.
Totally. Or you can archive it. You know what I mean? You could bring it back, So it's like, just don't be scared.
Do it.
Just do it. What is the guy on the death row? He said, just do it or something.
That whole story?
Yeah.
And then Nike said, that sounds like a great tagline.
Yeah.
Or Whiten and Kennedy. Yeah.
Whoever did.
Yeah.
That shit's, but that's tight.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think like a creative rut for our industry is super interesting because this is still a job at the end of the day and you have to show up. So it's like, if it's not your job, say I did construction and this was a hobby, I could easily be in a rut and fall out of it, where it's like you just need to show up every day, grind through the rut, and it'll show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to be consistent. You just got to keep at it and show up, and then you're gonna look back and be like, in a year, and be like, damn, that shit wasn't even that bad. Like I was tripping.
Yeah. And if social media, it's like consistency. Yes, but if you miss a week or something, who cares? But maybe post a little bit more that following week. It's not, unless you're seeing like this exact like return on your investment of posting. Totally. And you're like, you post 2 jobs come in, you post more, 3 jobs come in, then different, But the way, like we've been talking about, the way it works now on Instagram and stuff, like that's hard to do that.
And it's different. Like YouTube, you're gonna get AdSense money that's like per watch, where like Instagram is literally just for your own whatever, make yourself feel good. Like there's no, you may get a job or 2, hopefully, but it's really just like an ego booster. It's like such a, a psychologist could probably dive in deep on that, but it's like, or at least YouTube, per watch you're getting however much money, so it's different.
Hope that helps. So yeah, thank you guys for following along, and check it out, hit the bells and shit on
subscribe,
YouTube.
comment.
Yep, and we'll be back.